seems that now His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh, he wants to see the rematch between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and he's now offering Mike Tyson $700 million to knock out Jake Paul.
It's an incredible fight and bring it to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
It is not something to surprise or not. We have a lot of fights.
Jake Paul just pulled the plug on his unofficial rematch with Mike Tyson. And honestly, are we really shocked? Tyson was offered an astonishing $700 million for the fight, but unsurprisingly, he backed out. It seems avoiding real competition is becoming his thing. This happened right after their first scripted fight, where fans were excited to see Tyson return and knock Jake out, especially with that massive payday on the line. The first fight barely made $20 million, so jumping to a $700 million offer is a pretty wild leap. But hey, why face real competition when you can just dodge it for the right price?
Offering Mike Tyson $700 million to knock out Jake Paul. And it's all coming.
However, many see it as just another flashy cash grab, with the fight lacking authenticity. Once trust is lost, there's no getting it back. Is how experts used to introduce Mike Tyson back in the day.
He was a champ. It was like, people don't understand what a champ he was. Like, he wasn't just the heavyweight champion of the world, he was an executioner.
They were still willing to give him a second chance, but the YouTube star turned boxer chose to walk away from what could have been the most talked about rematch of the year. And no, this isn't just about strategy or scheduling conflicts. The drama goes much deeper, messier, and honestly, it's way more.
Tyson-Jake fight, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's amazing they got paid so much money for that.
25 million and 40 million?
I think 20 and 40. Yeah,
20 and
I think
40.
that's what I'd heard.
The rematch offer came from a Saudi billionaire, someone who has admired Tyson for years, and decided to throw $700 million on the table. The catch? Tyson had to win. But if you think this rematch was about honoring Tyson's legacy or offering him redemption, you're seriously mistaken. Tyson has lost the respect he once commanded, and honestly, this whole spectacle proves it. It's no longer about boxing. It's about who's willing to pay to watch a former legend play along. The tycoon even had the nerve to mock Tyson's past, bringing up one of his infamous scripted losses and implying that if Tyson could lose for money, he could surely win for it too. Jab the like button and uppercut the subscribe button to stay in the fight.
His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh, he wants to see the rematch between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and he's now offering Mike Tyson $700 million to knock out Jake.
So what does Jake Paul do in response to all this chaos? He taps out faster than a rookie in an MMA octagon. The whole situation is a perfect storm of money, pride, and drama, and I'm here to break it all down for you. First, let's talk about the wild card in this story. A Saudi billionaire who decided that boxing wasn't chaotic enough and needed his personal touch. This guy didn't just offer a massive prize. He threw $700 million onto the table as a challenge. His demand was simple: Mike Tyson must win. Not just any Tyson, but the Tyson whose alleged scripted loss had already turned heads and sparked debates about the authenticity of boxing. This billionaire wasn't on the sidelines sipping tea. He practically dumped the whole kettle on Tyson's head. Of course, I let him win. He gave me $10 million. What else was I supposed to do? I would have knocked him out. And this brings us to Jake Paul, the man who built his boxing career on carefully curated opponents, calculated moves, and a flair for drama. Jake's fights are less about boxing skills and more about crafting a story. His strategy is to win and grow his brand. He's not stepping into the ring for blood, sweat, and legacy. He's there to build a bigger empire. So when Tyson suddenly became a real threat, Jake's entire game plan started to unravel. Tyson, now 57 years old, fueled by a $700 million offer and a bruised ego, was no longer the friendly sparring partner Jake had faced before. No, this wasn't the same Tyson who was just a shadow of his former self. This was Iron Mike Tyson, the man who used to demolish opponents in seconds. Jake knew what everyone else did. Tyson could still land punches that could flatten a brick wall. This wasn't a YouTuber stepping into the ring for the first time, or an MMA fighter trying on boxing gloves for fun. This was Mike Tyson, and Jake wasn't stupid. He saw the writing on the wall. A rematch wasn't just risky, it was downright dangerous. But let's not paint Tyson as the helpless victim in all of this. Sure, the billionaire's taunts were ruthless, but Tyson's no stranger to controversy. He's been called everything from a boxing genius to a spectacle showman. Yet, this billionaire took things to a new level by mocking Tyson's alleged scripted loss, and it hit a nerve. The rematch, once about money and fame, became personal for Tyson. It was a chance for him to prove that even at 57, he wasn't anyone's puppet. He wasn't just going to let someone else call the shots. However, Tyson also knew the stakes. A win against Jake Paul wouldn't silence his critics. There would still be whispers of, "Oh, he just beat a YouTuber," undermining the accomplishment. But if he lost, it would be an unthinkable blow to his legacy. The $700 million offer wasn't just about the money. It was a way to silence all doubts and prove he could still be a dominant force in the ring. Tyson was ready to fight. The real question was Jake? Jake Paul thrives in controlled chaos, where every move is calculated, every decision made with the goal of maximizing his odds of winning. He's a showman, and he's good at it, but this time, the chaos wasn't under his control. First, there was the billionaire's offer, which turned what could have been a fun rematch into a serious, high-stakes fight. Then came the media storm, with everyone questioning Jake's ability to stand up against a motivated 57-year-old Tyson. Jake's brand is built on one thing: winning. He's carefully crafted an image that's larger than life, and losing to Tyson in a fight that wasn't on his terms would have completely shattered that image. Let's not forget the psychological aspect of this entire mess. The billionaire's involvement wasn't just a financial twist, it was a psychological grenade. The insinuation that Tyson could be bought only raised the stakes higher. Tyson wasn't just fighting for money now. He was fighting for pride, his legacy, and the $700 million. If Tyson came into the ring swinging, fueled by all that motivation, it wasn't going to be a walk in the park for Jake Paul. Jake Paul is no fool. He knows what's at risk here. He spent years building a persona that has made him one of the most polarizing figures in sports entertainment. If he lost to Tyson, who was coming in with a bruised ego and a massive financial incentive, it could have been the end of his boxing career before it truly began. And if he somehow pulled off a win, what would that really prove? That he beat a 57-year-old man who was being paid to win, all while the billionaire's drama played out in the background. In the end, Jake Paul did what he does best. He avoided a risky situation. Sure, he could have stepped into the ring and faced Tyson, but the mental and physical stakes were too high. He wasn't about to risk his reputation and brand on a fight that, at best, would be a win by technicality, and at worst, a crushing loss. So he tapped out, and the rematch that could have been the most talked about event in recent boxing history never happened. Mike Tyson, meanwhile, remains a complicated figure. He's no stranger to controversy.